Sonoma County has been dealing with heavy rain, as you know. We're keeping an eye on the Russian River, which has been rising more than expected. So Wilson Walker is live in Guerneville, where the river has now reached flood stage. And Wilson, you were there earlier this week when it really wasn't forecast to rise this high. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Juliet, it was forecast to rise, not quite this much. And as we're going to see, little variances in what that river does can make a bit of a difference depending on exactly where you are along the Russian River. This river has a reputation for rising quickly, and that is exactly what has happened.
No forward, just real slow. Just put it in gear.
So luckily I had a tow rope that I can get it out of the water because the water was right through the doors.
Okay, hold it.
For Rafael Alvarez, the initial forecast for the Russian River was just off his property line, but in a place where 2 feet can mean your classic Mercedes.
Huge difference because 2 feet either way, when it comes over the bank, then most of the water will go into the flat land.
And far more incredible than the height of the water is how fast it happened. When we were here on Tuesday, the river was sitting at just over 5.5 feet, and the forecast at the time was for the storm system to push the river to about 25 feet. That forecast has been exceeded.
I know, it went from 6 to now it's, I think, close to 30. Went from about 6 feet to, I think it's approaching 30 feet right now.
On the last predictive model that I saw was going to be about 34, and 35 feet is when we receive moderate flooding here in the lower Russian River area.
This really is sort of right about at the line where it starts to cause problems here.
Right, it is right at that line. So depending on what the rain system, what the storm system does, whether it continues, it has let up a little bit. We're in light rain right now, but it hasn't really stopped raining at all. So all of that water from the higher elevations needs to flow here to the river. It does take some time for it to get here.
With the river expected to stay below that critical mark of 35 feet, it means the river itself isn't the top concern. It's all of the creeks that have to drain into it.
This area here is the lowest elevation in Guerneville. It's called Submarine Flats.
Locals can tell you exactly what happens as the river reaches certain marks, which roads will be closed, which basements will be flooded.
And everybody has a little routine, mostly putting the cars up away, opening your garage door, securing your trash bins.
So it's not a particularly abnormal event to see the water this high, but off of 2 days worth of rain on the very first storm system of the year.
And it was only lucky that it's so early in the season because there's plenty of places for water to go right now. The river wasn't full. The creeks were completely dry when this storm started. And now...
Have you ever seen anything like this?
I don't think in that short a time that we ever got this kind of rain between Santa Rosa and the coast. We normally get a lot of rain, but not in that short period of time.
I was checking in with some folks that we did a previous story with here, the fire prevention story. They live on the ridge out in Cazadero, up high. They got about 16 inches of rain up there. Pretty incredible weekend. And that gentleman told me that he didn't think that this amount of rain in a couple days was maybe necessarily abnormal. It really is the fact that it's right up here in November, first storm of the year. And Juliet, I'll tell you, he added that it makes the rest of the winter seem a little precarious.
That's a good point. Yes, your schedule will be a little precarious, I have a feeling, Wilson. Appreciate all of your reporting up there. Thank you.